So
Oh,
it's
okay. So this is I ended this prematurely. Sorry, audience, because one of the big things I wanted to talk to you about was obviously as we progress, right? There are dog trainers who just want to be solo artists, right? There are dog trainers who like to teach, and then there are dog trainers who want to build a business, right? And
yeah.
this was one of the big questions. I can't believe it's right here on the outline.
It's right there. Yeah.
It's right here on the outline.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about building a business. Like you
Mm,
went from your apartment, you went to a facility, maybe a team of one or two people, and now you have a team of 12, if not more, right?
yeah,
And now you're
correct.
going to two facilities.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that journey. Talk to us about that process. That is amazing because I mean, I worked for a big two facility. My history is I worked for a business in LA that had two facilities. I helped build the second facility, and I worked there for 10 years. And we were going to franchise and everything. And then the owner decided to sell the company. So I left. I literally started from the bottom to build up my business again. And I want to know, I want to know, talk to me about this journey, right? I have 5 employees right now. You got 12 employees. You got two facilities coming up. You got technically 3 facilities if you count the home.
Is it actually 12? Did I give you that number? Because
I
I'm
think,
curious. I'm
I
thinking in my
think,
head, I'm
I
like,
think, I think on Instagram, on a YouTube video that I was watching, you were saying like, welcome to the dream team or something like that. And I think you
okay,
said 12. I think you said 12.
yeah. So it might be different now. I don't know, but it's somewhere around that number. Like we might be at the 15 mark, but it's somewhere
Mm.
there. I was like, damn, this guy knows it. I'm trying to like count it in my head. Like as you're doing it, I was like,
Stalking
yeah,
you.
yeah. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's scary, and it's stressful all at the same time.
Mhm.
Um,
All the feelings.
the thing that is probably the most scary is at the time that I was doing it in general, especially in New York City, there's no real blueprint to follow. I spent some time, with Tyler, seeing what he was doing, how he was doing it, understanding the differences
Of
between Buffalo, New
Buffalo.
York,
Mhm.
and
Right.
New
I
York
was gonna
City,
say.
and also the
Yeah.
similarities, and then saying, okay, this could work, this can't work, this is what we have to do differently. Um, but if you're opening up a restaurant, you can go down the block and go, okay, how did you guys do it? Oh, you're Italian
Right.
cuisine, this is Chinese cuisine, or this is whatever. You can't really do that with this. So it was kind of a one of a kind thing. Okay, how do we make it work? How do we do it? How do we wing it? How do we make adjustments? How do we learn from our mistakes? And that's still what we're doing till this day. Um, the thing that I try to do, and it's the hardest thing, you go from knowing how to do something yourself and not really having an actual system in the beginning, but knowing that when you're doing stuff with the dogs, it's working, to then having people that work for you who you don't want them just doing whatever and you don't want them
Right.
winging. So you have to put systems in place, even
Mhm.
though I hate the idea of paint by number dog
Yeah.
training.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
I
Mhm.
Yep.
hate the
Mhm.
It's
idea
more
of
like it's more laying out principles.
there
Yeah.
has to be principles and there has to be, okay, we have to get you to this standard of you guys know how to do this.
Mhm.
So
Right.
things have been almost robotic in the beginning, but I
Mhm.
think what I'm really, really excited about is we've gotten the team for the most part to a place where they're all at that level, and now we can be creative and continue to help one another, and I can
Yes.
them and we can brainstorm together, and this is
Yes.
where things get creative,
Mhm.
because we have the fundamental principles to an
Mhm.
extent
Mhm.
down. Obviously, there's things that we can learn from, and there's still stuff that I want to dabble with. The last 2 years, I've wanted to spend time continuing to learn from others. But then
Mhm.
when I'm building a facility, I have to spend time devoting it for them, getting them
Right.
Mhm.
to where I am, which has stalled my
Your
learning
growth. Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
my
Yep.
growth. So then I
Mm.
had an idea of I'm going to pay, and I still do this, for my team to attend seminars and bring back knowledge so we can
Yep.
continue to improve
Cultivate.
our
Yep.
team.
Right.
Yep.
And that's worked to an extent, but it's not quite the same because then you also have turnover and some
Right.
people
Mhm.
leave and
Right.
stuff. And it's like, man, like I paid for you to do this and that. So it's like,
Yeah.
um, this year particularly, I'm gonna spend like a week out with Jay Jack and I'm gonna learn what he's doing
Mhm.
with some
Mhm.
of the stuff and just have fun. Not about ego. We're gonna train dogs. We're gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. We're gonna train jujitsu. I'm also gonna go back out to Nelson Hodges, who's a
Mm.
very, very interesting gentleman and knows some stuff, and just continue to kind of try to bring stuff back to the team, learn stuff myself, and then go, hey, this is what I took from this. And I have a pretty, I'm getting better at articulating things. And that's something that I try to do. So let me learn this and say, hey, this is what I got out of it. And this is what I think makes sense for the environment that we're in. So I want to get back to that so that I can just get us, myself included, better, which I think has kind of been put on the back burner over the last, not that I haven't been learning, but over really the last 5 years, or almost 6 years that the facility has been open. It's like, okay, I have to get back to doing this because
you got to get back to
right. With dog training, you don't want it to leave you behind.
There's so much more, so much unique. I have to get back to doing better than what I'm doing currently, even though what I'm doing is pretty damn good. It's got to be better. It has to be better. So
100%. Like me and Mariano, when we finished with Larry, we were saying, when are you going to be in Cali? And he goes, I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be there with Joel, J-Jack in December. And we're like, yo, give us the ticket info, because we're going to be there, because we're at the same place. It's like, building a business is hard. Building a business, where you are the operator, where you are constantly operating and seeing clients and having to work and having to troubleshoot and having to do all that stuff. And, I'm finally at a place where I can be creative with my team. Once they know their principles, they're able to, I know for a fact they can train a dog. It gets to a point where I know I can give them a 6-month-old puppy, and in 4 weeks, that dog is going to be, so crisp, so nice. Right. But at the end of the day, what is our philosophies? What is the culture?
That's that tough, like, it's not a double standard. It's more just like that catch-22 of, you want the creativity, you want the innovation, but at the same time, you need to have protocols in place so that, like, these crazy outlier situations don't occur. And if they do, what happened and how it happened and so on and so on.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting for me is, like, so my company's name is CANIS, CANIS, right? That's the name of my company. And I always tell my team, I'm like, I am Brent LaBrada. I'm my own person. I'm a dog trainer. I'm the founder of this company, but you guys are this company. Everything that you guys bring to this table, your jokes, your sense of humor, your dog training, your love for the animals, everything, that is you guys. We are Canis. I'm Brent LaBrada. How do you navigate the identity of your company, Blake?
Well, who's had a recent significant influence on that is actually Brene Brown. And just, I'm making an effort now to
power of vulnerability.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then there's just
dare to leading.
Yeah, man, that's actually I'm on that audiobook right now. Getting the team to influence and improve and get more confident, not on their own, but get things to a better place. So it's not just the direction is just coming from me, and a lot of stories that are in, I'm not sure if it was the first Brene one or what was the other one that I just
Daring Greatly.
No, it was the Culture Code with
yes. Guess what I got right here? Talent.
Yeah.
Code.
The talent. Yeah, it was a talent code or was it Culture Code? But yeah, both of them. With what was it? Dan Coyle? Is that
Dan Coyle? Yep.
Coyle. So that's someone I didn't mention before. There's a portion when they start talking about like Pixar and Disney and all this stuff that
Culture
like,
Code is right over there.
I don't know if you can I actually just got cold chills thinking about like they never changed their team, but they got oh man, I'm totally gonna butcher this, but they all got better through the mistakes that they made together as a team. So I'm really trying to create more of a team atmosphere and culture where it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to do this and that's something that I'm just trying to improve on. The goal is always to get the team better as I'm trying to get better myself. It's how do I get this machine to operate better than a machine.
Have you guys looked into Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink?
I have. I think I actually have it on Audible. It's one of the tokens. I just haven't listened to it yet.
Okay. Yeah, that one, I think, as you were talking about the importance of the team, it sounded to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, like
wrong.
you're
right.
I know. Like you want them to feel
leash pop. Correction.
Right. Yeah. you want them to feel like this isn't just my house at Dooley Fair. You are part of the process. I want you to take ownership of what which brought me to Jocko.
And I just want them thinking. I want them thinking
Right.
that, like, listen, if I'm not here, ideally the place runs better when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not.
I remember
yeah.
my mentor. So I worked for the same guy for 10 years, and he taught me, business and dog training and how to work with rescue. He's a huge rescuer in LA and dog trainer. But I remember he straight up just stopped coming into the office one day. He straight up just was like, I'm just not going to come into the office, so that I learned to just handle things on my own,
And I noticed that was also something that was happening with us with our interns at Canines.
Oh yeah, so yeah, me and Mariano used to work together. So
so like, and I noticed that they were. Have you ever had this situation, Blake, where you've got someone on your staff who they know what they're doing, except that they're nervous about pressing things forward? Meaning, if you were to tell them, hey, go work, food sit, go work, like leash pressure down, go work, like they can do it all, but they're not comfortable deciding when to go from this to this to this and progress the dog forward. They can do everything individually, except for put a whole program together. And so in order to get them comfortable making these decisions, we would tell them all the time, like, look, you're good. You know what you're doing. If you think the dog's ready for X, go do it. Mm-hmm. But in order to give them that green light, it was a combination of that and a combination of like, all right, I'll tell you what, if you feel like the dog's going to this, and this, go for it. I'm going to go take this dog to Starbucks. I'll see you in like 45 minutes and leave, so that they don't feel like eyes are on them, so they can just do their thing, because their instinct is correct. They're just nervous about messing up in front of you.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. There's a little bit of like, you guys got to do this on your own without me and make mistakes. And then there's, I need to see this so that I can improve on the mistakes. And
right.
My biggest thing, and I hope I don't forget this thought, because it's like losing me, or losing right now, is this is what I'm doing more of right now. I'm spending a lot more time asking them these simple questions. And if I'll come in, I go, okay, what are you doing with the dog right now? Why are you doing it? And how does it help with what the dog needs? Right. If you're in the training room or wherever, and you're just going through the motions of the day, which is like, you're not doing anything bad or wrong, but it's like, do you know what week of the program the dog is in? Do you know what has been worked out with everybody else? If you're just doing, are you on task? Yeah. You know it's the way to do it. Like, you don't have the answer for like, why do you even know why the dog is here?
Right.
Because like, we have to know these things. So that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get the team to be able to think more like that. And for the most part, we're there, but it has to be better. Okay, well, how do we brainstorm instead of you looking, okay, if Blake is not here, the head trainer, and the head trainer is, okay, what should I be doing right now? Mm-hmm. You guys have to feel comfortable knowing this, or at the very least, if you're doing something without permission, if the question gets asked, you have an answer that is not a defensive answer.
Right.
It's the answer because you actually thought it through.
I agree with you, and that's something that I actually do a lot with clients. I ask them questions, and if they start getting really insecure, like, and I can hear in their voice like they're giving me an answer like they feel like it's going to be wrong, then I'll cut them off right there. I'm like, listen, you're not wrong. I want to know why you're doing this. I want to know your thought process. And then once I tell them they're not wrong, they're like, oh, well, I just figured, if he was nervous, then instead of correcting him, I just like took a few steps away further from that person. And I'm like, good. Why? And I want to know why. I want to hear your thoughts, because, and then when they finally say it, all nervous, expecting me to be like, no, then finally I'm
you're
like,
wrong.
Right. I'm like, the thing is, that instinct was very good. You're right where you should be. Like, I agree with what you just did. I wanted you to tell it to me because I wanted you to vocalize it, because a lot of times we do things without, if you never like,
why, yeah.
Well, if you never, right. Well, if you never like think it out or write it out or however you particularly go about figuring things out, then you like did it, but you never really took in the message. You just kind of did it. And so I make it a point to be like, no, you're correct, but tell me why you did it. Like, I want to know these things. And, and it's something that I work with now with my new trainer and everything else. So it's just, have you had any sort of, like, have you, that kind of thing? You ask them questions, they'll get a little insecure about it. You let them know, like, listen, I'm not asking you to like shut you down. I want to know how you got here, because I agree, but I want you to hear your words.
There's a temperament thing to that too.
It's interesting because you have to know the person that is in front of you and how to like not push the buttons, because it's the same thing with a dog.
Yeah.
Like I've this might sound bad, but
no, I get it. We get it. We're dog trainers. We get it.
My staff is different. You know, you have some dogs that are a little bit softer, that they can't be pushed the same way. You have dogs that you can just tell them straight away, and like we can cut to the chase. Look,
They're
man,
working dogs. They're working dogs. They're like, sorry,
handle this type of pressure, because you realize that the direction I'm giving you is not because I hate you or I'm upset with you. It's just blunt.
Yes.
It's we got to move. We got shit to do.
Yeah.
Right.
People that I go, if I do that, I'm gonna rub this individual the wrong way. So I try to just adjust that way. And there's some members of the team that I need to help open them up more. Like you know what I mean? And
make them feel safe. You got to make them feel safe. Like, yo, you got problems? Don't keep it from me. Tell me.
I'm trying to be a better boss and continue in that regard. And that's one thing also is like in this business, I'm more than just a dog trainer. I'm also looking at this. I'm also learning more and more about business. We're also figuring out how to shift and make lemonade throughout COVID. We're also handling like, you know, virtuals and like this, and then the website, then social media, and then all of these things. And
podcast interviews, you know?
Yeah, and like podcast interviews and this, and then I got to get the dogs out right after. That are like all of these things. So there's so much that goes into it. There's just a lot. So my job never ends because I'm always striving to get better in different fields. The only thing that is unfortunate is that you can't necessarily all do it at once. So if I'm making more of an effort to be a better boss by way of learning more of the business side, maybe the training side takes a hit. If I'm learning more, spending more time with the dogs, maybe this side takes this, maybe this side of social media. I could blow this page up if I really wanted to, but I can't spend that much time doing that. So you have to distribute your time and make the time and make things priority that need to be priority. And there's no excuses for it. No, there's only X amount of time in the day, but prioritize what you think needs to be done at the time or at the moment.
100%.
Do you listen?
Go ahead.
Do you listen to Andy Frisella? Do you know who Andy Frisella is?
I don't know. Who's that?
I think you'd like him a lot. If you like Jocko and you like Goggins and you like all these guys, Andy Frisella is the guy. He's the owner of First Form, you know, the supplement company. And he owns like a couple other supplement companies, and he's one of like a fitness industry guys. He has a podcast called the MFCEO. And I think that it's the kind of thing that's really fun to get people in the mood, because you seem like the kind of person who is like a self-starter, you know, which I'm sure has always served you well. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes when you, or at least like from my perspective, because, you know, I'd like to think I'm like a self-starter too. Sometimes when people who are really good, like at what they do, and like, if only they had a little more confidence, they would see how good they are at stuff to get them to like be a little bit more of a starter. Andy Frisella is the guy who has that message that can really kickstart people.
DM that to me on Instagram. That way I can, when you get a chance.
Okay.
I can figure that out.
I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll handle that. Well, we know you got dogs that got to go out, my friend. I got that same struggle over here. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. Blake, this was like dope. This was so fun, man.
I really enjoyed it.
I don't know how else to put it. Like there's a handful of not clients. Oh my God, special guests that we have on.
Humans.
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 That we have on, that there's just a direct connection. Like we get it. And it's funny because like there's so many dog trainers out here I mentor. They're not friends with other dog trainers. And it's crazy. It's like I grew up in a system where there was 6 other dog trainers around, right? Like that's how I grew up. I grew up from learning from other dog trainers around me. And then I climbed the ladder and I became the manager, and then eventually the academic officer, and I did stuff, right? But like to connect with another dog trainer who knows the struggles, who knows the, you know, the ins and outs of it, who knows the client struggles, who knows the business struggles, who knows the behavior stuff. It's always an honor and a privilege to be able to just connect and be like, I get you, you get me. We don't even have to fucking know each other personally, but we get each other. And that is one beautiful thing about having this podcast as a platform, is like, we started this a year ago, maybe today. I don't even know. Maybe a year
ago, like a couple weeks ago.
Like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Oh. And this podcast has become bigger than we ever thought it could ever be. And it's people like you, my friend. And our goal is we want to foster collaboration. We want to foster this conversation. We want to foster education. Like this is the goal of this podcast. And we just are so appreciative of your time, my friend, and sharing all this knowledge. This is probably the longest episode we've ever done.
It's up there. It's rivaling Sean,
there.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what's wild is my buddy of mine asked me, he goes, "Oh, that's what you're doing tonight. Do you want to like link up?" And I was like, I can't, because I have to assume that it's going to be 2 hours. If you ever watch Joe Rogan stuff, they can go into
Right.
but like, I don't know if I can ever go there, but this actually flowed way better. I know it was a long time, but it didn't feel like it was like,
right.
Oh my God, like what's going on? So this was pretty cool. I really thank you guys for having me on. One thing I didn't mention before we go is you guys are probably familiar with it, but because of what you're doing, you guys should check out Clubhouse. And
yeah.
I just got, so we're Android guys. We're weird like that. I just bought an iPhone.
Hey, I like my Android.
Hey, yo, shout out to Matt Hubble from Canine Performance.
Canine Performance.
Because he said, yo, you on Clubhouse yet? And I was like, no, not on Clubhouse. So I literally bought an iPhone that day. I just started up on Clubhouse. I'm going to add you, Blake. I'm going to add, you got to get an iPhone, bro. And
I have McKenna's old iPhone.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. This
guy sounds like he's like, I really like my fax machine. I love my Android.
I'm
going to get it.
Don't hate on the Pixel, though.
The Pixel is not a fax machine, sir. I love my phone.
Whatever. Anyways,
guys, hit me up on that. This has been great. Let's stay in touch. I'm more than happy to do it again. Link up and I just want to help this industry, and learn and be helped by this industry as well.
Yes. Right. It is. There's a little bit of self-interest totally in this. Like me and Mariano have this dream. We want to fly around this country shooting episodes in person with every fucking single one of you guys.
Dope.
So
dope.
That's what we're going to do.
Link up in Hawaii, somplece cool.
Hell yeah. Alaska. Sled dogs.
I mean, if you're gonna
Blake Rodriguez with sled dogs.
If you're gonna twist my arm about it, I guess.
Now, if Netflix wants to make a show, that'd be a hell of a show, y'all.
Yeah. Us hanging out in Hawaii, I'm down for that.
Exactly.
On the beach in Hawaii. All right, guys.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you guys so much. If you guys like this episode, make sure that you guys leave a review and share this with at least one other person. And also make sure that you guys send us some of your questions for our up and coming episodes. We would like to thank our very special guest, Mr. Blake Rodriguez from Dream Come True K9. You guys can follow him at Dream Come True K9. That's the letter K and the number 9 at the end. And go ahead and check out his website, www.dctk9.com, and also check out all of his content on the Consider the Dog platform. This guy's an amazing educator. We want to thank you so much for being on the podcast, Blake. And we hope to have you back soon, my friend. Cool, man. We love you so much, and we will connect with you again in the future. You have a wonderful night. And my name is Brent LaBrada. That guy over there is Mariano Alvarez. And thank you again to Mr. Blake Rodriguez for being on the podcast. We love you guys. We'll see you guys in episode 47. Peace.
See you, buddy. Thank you for listening to the Dog Trainers Podcast, a podcast created by dog trainers, for dog trainers, or anyone who's ever fallen in love with man's best friend.
We really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you back for the next one. But in the meantime, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dog Trainers Podcast. Go ahead and leave a comment. Ask us any questions that you want. We would love to connect with our dog trainer communities all around the world. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.